Evolution power tools do supply their own blade guard system, and it must be used whilst using this saw.
So those wonderful people over at Evolution Power Tools saw my review on my previous table saw. They obviously must have thought it a reasonable review because they got in contact and asked me if I would like to review this Evolution Rage 5S table saw. Of course I said yes. Now the difference with my review from a lot of the other ones that I've seen on YouTube is I have actually used this table saw for a length of time. I've put it through its paces and I've used it for many jobs that I've created on my YouTube channel. Whereas a lot of the other reviews that I saw on YouTube, the saws look brand new and hardly used, if used at all. But in this video I'm going to give you my complete unbiased opinion of it.
So on the left hand side of the table saw is a nifty little design feature to carry some spare blades and the spanners for removal of the blade. The insert plate on this table saw is really sturdy. I haven't found this to move at all whatsoever as I did on my other table saw. And to remove the insert plate you just grab one of the spanners and twist the little catch and off it pops.
So this saw comes with a 255mm multi-purpose cutting blade as standard. This blade has a kerf of 2mm. There are another 2 blades you can get for this. You can get a diamond cutting blade for ceramic tiles, and you can get a wood only blade which will leave you with much cleaner cuts when using it.
So to move the blade up or down, there's 2 rack and pinion systems. The first one you just wind it anti-clockwise or clockwise if you want the blade to move up or down. And to tilt the blade you just undo the little catch, depress the handle and wind it to whichever direction you want to tilt the blade, then lock it back into position. I've also found the gauge for the angle of tilt to be quite accurate. So with the multi-purpose blade you can cut a number of things. You can cut wood with nails in, steel and aluminium. I find the rip fence to be really sturdy as well and not move at all. However, there is a tiny little gap underneath it when it sits on the table saw itself, but I can't see this causing any problems. It was parallel straight out the box and I don't find it pinches me up against the blade or the riving knife. The dust extraction on this table saw works really well as well. Once it's hooked up to my hoover, it does remove quite a bit of sawdust.
By far and away the best bit of equipment on this table saw is this sliding panel section. It makes cutting down your work so much easier. It just glides so easy. There's no play in it whatsoever. The sled works so well that I no longer use the mitre gauge on its own. There is a tiny bit of play in this gauge. And it is ever so slightly out here, so you need to set it the 90 degree from that to the blade with a speed square to make sure you're getting accurate straight cuts, as is what I did.
Now the mitre gauge itself just simply locks in with this little finger screw. You just turn it in a few times and it is locked into the sliding plate. To release the sliding plate you just turn this little catch underneath, quarter of a turn, and it is unlocked. So first of all I just checked that there was squareness from the mitre gauge to the blade itself, and then vertically I just checked that it was square as well. You can make some real quick simple cuts using the sliding plate. As you can see here, they were absolutely square.
Now one thing I really like about this saw is it has 2 extendable sides which extend the overall width of the saw to 1200mm. A lot of the other job site type saws that I've seen, only this section extends. This really does help when ripping down large sheets of board.
So to get the side to slide out, you just simply release this little catch underneath the table saw and then you lock it back into position at your desired length. And on the other side there's two little finger screws either side that you just undo, slide it out and then lock it back into position.
However, there are two small gripes that I have with this saw. They're only small ones. The top isn't the most hardest of wearing surfaces.
So here's the areas that I've sustained quite a bit of wear to.
I would have liked to see the top coated with something a bit more hard wearing. Considering this is a job site saw, it is going to take quite a lot of use and abuse. So I would have thought just adding that extra bit of protection on the top would have been a real enhancement.
So the other gripe is the mitre gauge itself. You have to set it about just over 1 degree off centre for it to cut straight. All that said, I really do like this table saw and I'm really glad that I've got it. It folds up really quick and is quite light to pick up. If this is the type of table saw you're looking for, I highly recommend it. It will only be an enhancement in your work or day-to-day life.
So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, by all means give it a thumbs down. Please check out the links in the video description below to this table saw and to Evolution's website. Consider sharing this video and please subscribe for more content.